of women are struggling, you know, in place of work. There were times, like in some places, they even pay the men more salary than the women, even though they are doing the same thing. So if they are fighting for such rights, that if I can do the same job as an engineer, why should the man be paid more? We have the same qualifications and all that. So when you're fighting for your rights on those levels, I don't see anything wrong in it. And even in marriage, you know, marriage, it's a beautiful bond. It's a beautiful union if we actually have the fear of God. That's just what it is. If you do not have the fear of God, that is when there will be contention, there'll be jealousy, there'll be ego. I'm the boss. You can't talk to me like this. It's what I say that goes, you know, and that's when all the attributes of the flesh, they come to play. But if we have been renewed, our minds have been renewed, there are some things you even overlook. There are things you'll be able to correct in love. There are things you'll be able to compromise about, you know, and then life will be easier, marriage will be sweeter. Okay, back on feminism. As a Christian, as a believer, as a religious person, what is feminism to us? As a woman who's been nurtured and trained properly, even from where I come from as an African woman, we see feminism as two different things. It's not about equality, but rather feminism to us, it's about value, about what you represent to yourself, what you represent to your family, what you represent to your husband, what you represent to the community. So to us as Christians, it's about value, it's about the honor, you know, the attributes, the things in you. What makes you a woman? What makes you unique? What are those things about you that people will look at and say, no, I want to be like that woman. That woman challenges me. That woman motivates me. That is the difference. And then which scriptures in the Bible talks to us more, or mostly, so many scriptures. But the common one we use mostly is Proverbs 31, which I think I made mention 2 or 3 verses of it last week. And I don't think I'll be able to even touch it again this week because I'm deviating a little bit from that. And if you look at Proverbs 31 and everything written down there, it's all about being a good woman, being a woman of value, being a resourceful woman. And then if you look at Proverbs 31, we will not have 1 hour to be able to break it down. And I might still do, actually, maybe next week. But everything I'm going to be saying tonight, even though I'm not going to be quoting scriptures, but at the same time, I am speaking Proverbs 31. Now, we look at the account and the story, if you really, really read it, 31, you know, and see the life the woman that was described, the life she lived. She was hardworking. She prepares food. She considers a field. She's into business. So there is a masculinity side of it. She takes charge of her home. She's an authority in her home. Yet the feminine side is also there. When she speaks, wisdom comes out of her mouth. Her children calls her blessed. Even her husband's friends, you know, they honor her. So she's playing the life of both the masculinity and the femininity. Now, by the time I read some of the points I have down, we'll be able to decide if feminism is manipulation. Now, another thing again is this. When you are a woman, you know, before you become a woman, you're a princess. I keep using the princess because it helps us to break things down. And we did a teaching a few weeks ago because of people that are just joining today, which Pastor Stephen handled, about when my How do you care for her? How do you teach her? How do you nurture her? How do you train her to become a queen? Because she's going to evolve just like a butterfly from a princess to being a queen. So while she's under your roof as a princess, what are the things you're teaching her? And some of those things is also our feminism skills. It's too early, sir. God bless you. Thanks for joining me. The femininity skill is there, whether you like it or not. And you have 3 daughters, and they have played you on it big time. Some of it you know, and you just ignore, like, okay, it's all right. But it's there. The femininity side is also about the way they lift their head up, lift their shoulder up, and don't walk like the world is over. When you see your son or your daughter walking and they are slouched, you say, no, lift your head up, be proud of who you are. If you're a big person, be proud that you're big. If you're slim, be proud that you're slim. In whatever skin God has given to you, be proud of it and walk in that glory, in that honor. That's feminism. Not I'm too fat or I'm ashamed of the way I look. And then you begin to kill yourself about dieting, cutting your stomach, and the rest of it. So whatever skin you have, you are proud of it. And we begin to teach our daughters from young. And then we also encourage them that if you're in the kitchen cooking, is a feminist skill. But we also teach them masculinity skills to tidy up their room, take the bin out, do chores around the house. We help them to balance life. So we bring both together. So we looked at the princess. So I want to look at a woman as a queen. I know who I am. And I don't need anybody to tell me who I am, because I am honest to myself. And that is one of the qualities of a queen. That's one of the qualities of a woman. Okay, but when I read some of these things out, everybody will be able to pick, okay, this is the thing I do. That is something I do. That is not something I do. Okay, maybe I need to add that on board. Now, who is a queen? And then when we mention the word queen, what are the attributes associated to being a queen? I want if people to unmute if you want to speak. When you hear the word queen, what are the attributes that comes to your mind of a queen? Bishop, what are the attributes of being a queen? Sister Ebony, oh yeah, let's talk. Women, come on. Mommy Antonia.
Okay. Hello, ma.
God bless you. Who's gonna go first?
Well, Light, are you going first?
Yeah, I don't mind going first.
Okay, go on then.
I'm gonna pick it up. I'm not near my Bible, but I will pick it up that when I think of a queen and her attributes, and it's interesting because you've alluded to it in the context of feminism. I think of Queen Esther in the Bible. You know, she was brought up from very humble beginnings, although the Bible doesn't tell us much about her beginning, but we know because of the race that she belonged to. And, you know, she was propelled through the grace into a palace and she became a queen. But she was very resourceful. When you think of Esther, when she needed to go and speak to the king, and she knew that she was going to break a rule, you know, she was going outside of protocol. But she fasted and she prayed. So she put the spiritual element, but then also she ordained herself. She utilized what she had, which was herself. She dressed up, she got dressed, and she went before the king. And, you know, she got what she wanted. So when I think of a queen, yeah, oh, they're too low. She, you know, when Aman was gonna come, you know, come to his downfall, Esther, she was in that space. If we, you know, and I don't want to go into the Bible because I'm not near my Bible, but when you think of the story of Esther, for me, she really edifies and she embodies what it is to be a queen. She was prayerful. She was fasting. She was beautiful. She was stunning. She utilized herself as a resource and she got what she needed, not only to save Mordecai, but to save her people. And I guess as a queen, that is what we do. We do what needs to be done. We are resourceful. We are prayerful. When you go to church, sorry for the non-Yoruba speaking.
You have more women than men in the church.
You have more women, yeah, because they pray for themselves, they're praying for their children, they're praying for their husband, you know. So for me, I think of a queen and I think of Esther.
Thank you
So
very
that's
much.
what I just wanted to
Thank
say.
you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Before Bishop comes up, beautiful thing that I even have Queen Esther in my notes. And when you talk about Queen Esther, we're talking about boldness, some serious boldness and courage. I mean, for her to do something that has never been done by any woman, how dare you come before the king when you have not been invited? It takes courage. It takes boldness. So when we talk about being a woman, when we talk about feminism, we're talking about boldness. We're talking about courage. And then she also has the spiritual insight. So as a Christian, you know, using your feminism strength is also part of knowing God and using the gift God has given you, which is the authority in your mouth to speak to God concerning any situation. So when we talk about a queen, when we talk about a woman, a valorous woman, a good woman, whichever English you want to use, a queen who knows her what, knows also when to take charge in the spirit realm. And then beautiful thing you mentioned, the wisdom she used, you know, with the case of Mordecai. Do we call all the wisdom she used, all the feminism tree, you know, she prepared the meal the king would love. She did a banquet, not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. She dressed up well, put on beautiful perfume. She went with her presence. Do we call that side of our feminism, do we call it manipulation or do we call it wisdom, Pastor Stephen?
Wisdom.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else on the platform? Pastor Stephen, I'm directing this to you, sir.
You're directing it at me, huh? Well, you got to understand, and I thank you for that call, you know, my dear sister. I didn't see your name, Zoom user. Thank you for using Queen Esther as a godly example. Because when you look at the circumstances under which Esther spoke and acted, it was God-led. It was for God's glory to be manifested. That's what the bottom line was. She didn't use anything that was not God ordained. Every aspect of what she did from the moment that she realized who she was and what she was supposed to do was to bring God glory. And that is the essence that we have to be looking at in terms of what is right to do and what is manipulation. She was used of God in those circumstances to bring his glory to bear, not man's glory, not her glory, not the king's glory. It's to bring God's glory to bear. I'm gonna leave it on that one for now.
Thank you very much. Anybody wants to add to that before we move on? Okay. Bishop, do you want to come in?
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm not going to specify the attribute of a queen pertaining like a particular person. I'm just going to generalize it generally. I believe the attribute of a queen or a woman should be they should have ability to embrace and solve any issue amicably. They should be confident, like what you said earlier, and to fight the right cause, regardless of which side they find themselves. And that's being truthful. A queen, in what we are discussing, should be somebody that respects her dignity, somebody that is
Here, is that me or is that everybody? Can't hear you.
well. Generally, I would leave what I have to say on that note.
Can't hear you. We didn't hear you, ma'am.
We didn't hear you.
Did? Oh,
No, it went off.
I think a call was coming in. That's why I thought I was still speaking.
Even me, I was
Well,
speaking. Even me, I was muted. Interesting.
Oh, bless.
Don't be afraid, ladies. Talk your talk.
Sorry about that. A call was coming in, but I didn't answer it, so I thought I was still speaking.
Oh, okay. Fire on.
Yeah, what I was saying, like I was generalizing the attributes of a queen, which they should have the ability to embrace and to solve issues. They should be confident and not be afraid to fight the right cause. They should hold their dignity in a high esteem and be of a good leader. Even with all the authority they could have, they should actually carry that and the fruit of the spirit of the Holy Spirit. I think which is the 9 fruit of the Holy Spirit. All of it. I know it specifically means the fruit of the Holy Spirit, but I think as a queen, all those fruits should be an attribute they should actually possess as well, which is gentleness, peaceful, joyful, and all the rest of it. And a queen should have the ability to adapt in every situation. In every situation they have, they have, and they should, a queen should have the ability to respect others. You can't be in a position of trust and you are disrespecting others. You have to respect others. Like in the case of Queen Esther that we made as an example. Yeah, she was a very respectful woman.
How do we know that?
As according to the Bible, even to the husband, to our uncle, to everyone around her. So, and I believe as a woman, as a queen, we should have that ability, the attribute to respect people around us, regardless.
Thank you very much, man. God bless you.
Thank you.
I've got one of the Bible verse that was shared last week by Brother Mike's Proverbs 14, verse 1. Ebenezer, can you type that on for me, please? Proverbs 14, verse 1 to 3, I believe. A wise woman buildeth her home, but the foolish woman destroyed it with her hands. And I took that in 2 ways. In one way, in the sense that we're talking about being a woman, being a virtuous woman, being a queen in the house and all that. And for you to be able to build your home, you need a lot of wisdom. You need a lot of things. It's a lot. You need all the gift of the Holy Spirit, like my sister just said. You need everything on board. You need resilience, to be able to do that. But on the second way, I kind of challenging that in the sense that to build a home, it doesn't just take the woman. Proverbs 14, verse 1 to 3. You know, it takes two to fight, it takes two to tango. A woman can't do it alone. We should stop putting everything on the woman. And that was one of the questions somebody asked last week, that why is it that everything is being blamed? If anything goes wrong in the marriage, in the home, why is the woman blamed? We're going to go into that very soon. I don't want to deviate too much from the queen. After we hopefully be able to wrap up on the queen, and they will treat that question. And I'm sure Pastor Stephen is also there to help. Okay, because the blame mostly comes from the men. Anything goes wrong is the woman. If there is a good child, oh, is the man's child. But if the child is being naughty and the child is being challenging, and they said that's the woman's child, the woman has failed in her duty to look after the child. Like it's just her duty, it's both duties. So I'm bringing that it's not just about a wise woman building a home. A wise man and woman building a home. But for the sake of we're looking at the woman today, we'll just leave it like that scripturally. But I just want to use that to encourage that let's not leave it for just the woman to build a home. She cannot fight herself. She's going to fight with somebody. She cannot be laughing in the house by herself. They say, this woman is gone nuts. It's somebody that will make her laugh. She's going to be laughing with someone. It takes two to tango. It takes two to make a marriage work. Let's not leave the work for the woman alone. I'm going to read quickly some of the points I have here, and then we'll be able to talk again. Now, from the research I did, that was done on 1st of February, excuse me, 2019, from it was established that the sex differences in emotional manipulation is not specifically just to women alone, but there's a high degree of it on the men. That when we talk about emotional manipulation, it's the men that do it more than the women. And then we're looking at feminism as manipulation. But research on 2019 has been able to bring to light that men actually do emotional manipulation than we women. I'll leave that for us to ponder on. Now, I've said feminism today is seen as equality and sexes, but as Christians, we see it from a different angle. We see it as a woman's value and virtues. And that's why I'm bringing the queen into the picture to see the attribute of a queen as what is expected of a woman. And you've all mentioned beautiful examples, and that is good. I'm just going to add a bit more to it. Who is called a queen? A queen is brave. We've said that. A queen has confidence. A queen is tough, but at the same time, she is tender. You know, that's why I said there's a bit of struggle for the woman. 1 minute you're tough where you need to be tough, and then the other minute you're tender. So for instance, when we talk about business, and even from the accounts of Proverbs 31, you know, when we're talking about the virtuous woman, she puts her home in order. She gives a portion to the maidens to do. That's her being tough. This has to be done in certain way. My business is being handled in certain way. She does not mind sword. She does not mix business with pleasure. She puts her home in order. That's her being tough. And the way she needs to be tender, she comes down and be tender and be caring and be supportive and relax. So as a queen knows when to be tough, and a queen knows when to show the feminine side. You know, so it's both for a queen. The moment we hear the word queen, or a queen comes into a room, every queen comes into a room, there is a presence. A queen has a presence. And when she comes into a room, head must turn. You know, and in some places, everybody there will stand up to honor the queen that just stepped in. Now, it's natural. It's inborn. The queen doesn't have to ask, everybody, I'm here now, stand up. No. It's there. So every woman that carries the attribute of a queen Every room you step into, your energy will radiate around that room and earth will turn. And you wonder, what are they looking at? What? Did I pour something on my head? Am I the most prettiest person in this room? That is not about the physical appearance. It is about what you carry in the inside that is radiating. It is an energy that is just sparking right, left, center, everywhere. It is an energy that just goes into the room like, now the queen is here. Okay? Now, another one is, a queen is proud of herself. Not proud in the sense of pride, but it's a pride that comes with confidence. I know who I am. I know whose wife I am. I am the queen of this kingdom. I am the wife of this king. I know my worth. I know who I am. I'm not somebody to be trampled upon. So a queen knows her worth. She is an authority. A queen is an authority. A queen is somebody who keeps learning and trying new things. Even in Proverbs 31, you know, it said the virtuous woman even goes far to buy wool and buy new food, different things she tries new things. So you're not doing eba and amala for your husband every day. You're not doing chicken and chips every day. You are even trying intercontinental dishes. You're turning things around. You're sparking things up. So a queen is always on her toes, even though she also knows when to relax. Okay? A queen keeps calm during adversity. I'm sure we all watch movies. And when there are adversity, and there are tension in the kingdom, we don't see a queen panicking and jumping. Yet the hearts might be jumping. She doesn't show it. She keeps calm, and then she calls, onto, if her husband is around, if unfortunately the husband is not around, she calls advisors. Now there is a problem. What do we do? So in the case of a woman, there is a situation on board. Husband, what do we do? She does not panic. Oh, there's a problem. Yeah, problem has come. It's not the end of the world. But the main thing is, how do I deal with this problem? A queen is not representing just herself. So in the way she talks, the way she behaves, the way she dresses, she doesn't dress shabbily or just anyhow. She does not show half of her body. She dresses well. She's representing herself. She's representing her husband, the king. And she's representing the entire kingdom. And she knows any insult that comes to her comes to the king. Any insult that comes to her comes to the entire kingdom. And so she's representing a magnitude of authority, lineage. She is an authority. And when a woman knows and lives her life as a queen, she has boundaries of what is accepted and what is not accepted. When a woman is able to put boundaries, for instance, there are things you and your husband will sit down and talk about even before you get married. I'm a Christian and I have to go to church. Now, if for any reason, if you choose not to go to church, you are not going to stop me from going to church. You put a boundary there even before you get married. So there's an understanding. You put a boundary around your family against external intrusions. So she knows where to draw the lines. She put boundaries in place to protect herself and to protect her family. A queen makes choices on what she wants to do, and she does not allow anyone to criticize her over it. Why? Because she's an authority speaking, and she has valued, she has looked at scenarios, you know, around the incident, around what she's making a choice on. She's looked at it front, back, right, center, and she has made up her mind. For instance, as a woman, you meet a man and everything is working fine, and you decide, you make a choice to spend the rest of your life with this man. And challenges come up. Are you sure? Don't marry him, or he might be a serial killer, this and that. Yes, it is okay to listen to those warnings, those fear cry, and look into it. And make sure all those cries are not real. And by the time you're like, okay, they are just noises, they are not genuine, you stand on your choice. And it does not matter what any other person says. Because why? You made a choice based on fact. You made a choice based on what you believe in. When a queen gives a rule or gives an order, few people will come and want to challenge that or want to make her change her mind. My queen, don't let us do that. My queen. And then the queen says, my word is final. Now, when it comes to husband, it's a different ball game. Yet, we are still saying, this is what I want, but we are making the husband to understand. Now, I'm not ignorant of the fact that some husband might be challenging or difficult. I must say, no, you're not doing it. And you're also not going to do, yes, I'm doing it. That's the difference. But rather, you now go and behave like Esther. You go on your knees and pray. And if God can touch the heart of the king for Esther, God can touch your husband's heart. And then you come back again after maybe a few days even. Just what Esther did, give him his nice dishes, make him happy, everything rosy in the house, and then come back and revisit the issue. You choose not to argue at that time, meaning a queen also knows which battles to fight. There are some battles they are not worth it. They're not really battles, they're just noises, you know, and it's just like, they're not worth my attention. But you know the battles to put your feet, your body, your heart, your everything into it and fight until you win, because a lot is at stake. So as a queen, she knows when to use a feminism skill and let the conversation go at the time, you know, and then make the husband happy and then revisit it. So she's not forgetting what she wants. She's not changing her mind or the choices just because her husband doesn't want it. Because in today of today, we have seen husbands who are envious of their wives' growth and progress. This is somebody I know. You know, my sister told me the story of a pastor, and the wife wanted to go back to school for a degree. And this pastor told the wife, you will not be greater than me over my dead body. And you are not going to that school. So we have different kind of human being. You know, the spirit of envy. Who is making more money? If your wife is making more money and then there's a child, there is this fear of, okay, if she's making more money, then she should be taking care of bills in the home. And yet you want her to submit, you want her to show all the feminism side when you have lost your own masculinity. Because what makes a man, what gives the man ego, what brings out the masculinity of a man is when the man can provide for his home. It's one of those things. And the man can proudly say, I pay my rent in my home. My wife doesn't pay the rent for me. Now I understand the economy. I understand that the economy is not smiling. I understand, you know, if there's an understanding between the two of you for your wife to assist. They are two different things. It is not because she earns more than you. It is not because you want to make sure she's also spending her money while you want to keep your money, but it's for a genuine reason. So those are two different things. As a queen, you know how to look after yourself and others around you. Looking after yourself also means spending time to study the word of God, to pray, to equip yourself, to rest. You know when to go to the salon. You know when to put your feet up. And to look after people around you, look after your home. The queen gives, instructions to our maidens. Now, we are in the world where we don't have maidens. You have children. And then you are able to divide chores in the house for everyone. That is a queen. Now, very, very importantly, a queen also knows that she has a king. I'm sure some men are waiting for me to say that since. A queen knows she has a king, and that the king is the final authority, and the king is the final say. And that the king can also give her instructions. The king also can come to her for advice, for counsel. Does not make her greater than the king. And even the advice she gives to the king, she will give in the closet, not in the open, so that people do not see the king as a weakling, or do not assume that the king is just there for a figurehead, that is actually the queen that is ruling. So there is a balance. So she knows her place. She knows her place. And even when things are going wrong, or the king is making a wrong choice or a wrong decision, she knows how to get the king back on track with wisdom. Now, this wisdom, some might call manipulation. This wisdom, some might call ete. But it is still wisdom. It's still wisdom. Oh God, I'm so sorry. For some reason, bear with me. For some reason, I'm not connecting to Facebook. Oh no. Okay. Anybody wants to add or remove from what I've said so far? Anybody at all? I'm just going to open the floor for another 10 minutes. Ebenezer, do you want to say something? Your background is quite noisy.
Oh, sorry. Okay. What I would like to say might actually rock the foundation of this topic, but I would still like to say it though. It's just like an observation. I want to say for real that in this 21st century, how many of our 21st century women draw inspirations from feminists who had played these virtuous roles in the Bible? Number one. And two, in most cases when a woman assumes the position of authority, how far can she really express herself in form of ensuring that there is a balance in the household? Now, I don't want to make it look like I'm sounding like a sexist or I'm representing the men. I'm only saying this from the point of view of our so-called 21st century women. I have seen situations whereby a woman assumed the position of economic authority or power, and she forgets all this sermon. I just want us to be realistic. Then she understands that the worldwide notion of feminism begins to play a role in her life, even though she's a Christian. Then she sees her husband as less important. And that's why I just have to ask the question, how many of our so-called women out there draw inspiration from the light of Esther.
Mm.
In spite of their religiosity, their prayerfulness, or their self-righteousness, how many of them?
Thank you
Maybe
very
if
much.
that is just my question.
Thank you very much, Ebenezer. We have women on board. Let's, women, please help me help Ebenezer with this question. So there's not only me speaking. Mommy Antonia, Mommy Anne. How many women are able to create a balance when they are in the place of authority and yet be able to play both the feminine side, the masculine side, and yet still be a submissive wife? Come on, women. Women supporting women. Where are you? Okay.
In terms of the question that's just been asked.
Yes, ma'am.
For me, majority of women, are submissive. And we're quick to learn as well. If we have tried something and it doesn't work, we will try another way of dealing with the issue. But a lot of men sees it as manipulation because that's the word they just say. Oh, we're trying to manipulate, trying to twist things around. Oh, you're not seeing it from my way. You're not seeing it from my side. You're not seeing it from any whatever angle. But we try to, in the process of us learning or unlearning, learning to deal with issues, they see it as manipulation. It is not manipulation. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of us want a happy home, happy family, happy relationship. So why would we trade our happiness for unhappiness? We rather want peace. And that is what we treasure more in our homes or in our marriages. You understand? So why would we want to kind of power struggle? We don't want power struggle because a lot of us have realized that power struggle will not create a happy home. It will not create a happy family. That is why I said initially that most of us are submissive. But the way our husband sees it is like we're manipulating the situation. That's not what it is. And a lot of us learn by experience. And that is why I said we're quick to learn. Because we kind of know the triggers. What is the trigger? What is the trigger? What is going to, with this thing I'm going to do, it's going to trigger some big and serious argument. So we try to either withdraw or come across in a different way, or think, okay, let me do it this way, or maybe I should have done it better, because we're quick to learn and we will try everything to have a happy home or happy marriage or happy relationship. So it is not all the time that we try to manipulate. We don't manipulate. We're trying to change things. We're trying to change our approach to situations, whether regarding our children, and the men are quick to say, you just do this, you do that. But we don't have, we try to see things open, in various angles. Yeah, we look at it differently. Whereas some men just have this tunnel vision. And it's just one way, and it's got to be this way, and it's going to be my way or
no way.
No way. So when we try to do things differently, that's you're trying to manipulate, you're trying to do this, that I'm not going to have that. I'm the man in this house, I'm the head of this home, and whatever I say goes. So
thank you very much, ma.
yeah.
Thank you. Now, Mommy Anthony has spoken. Any other person wants to add to that? Anyone at all? Are women able to maintain or manage their home and yet being able to keep roles of authority at work or in the community? Are they able to balance things up? Anybody? Come on, we don't have much time. Okay, I'm gonna help. There's this story I was told of a queen regent. The king died, and before they can install a new king, there has to be a queen regent. And she's a married woman before she became a regent. And she was on the throne for a couple of years before they found a suitable king to take over from her. Now, from our custom, when a woman becomes queen, no matter how feminine she is, she has carried a lot of attribute of a man. And there are some certain things she can never do again as a woman. One of it is she can never kneel down for her husband anymore. And that has nothing to do with pride, because she's been placed in the place of authority as a man. And a lot of traditional rights has been carried on her. She is seen as a man. And that even people that are as old as her grandfather prostrate for her. Now, in such an example, if her husband is not open-minded, is not understanding, and not flexible, understanding this is the role she has played, and this is the custom. And it's not only just that she cannot kneel down, it's also dangerous for the man. It can affect the man in some other ways if she does that. And you know that this woman is not, there are other things she does that shows respect, honor, submissiveness. But there are certain things she can never do for the husband again as a woman. Now, in such a scenario, it's a difficult one, but it's also a very easy one, depending on who the husband is. Now, from the story, it's a true life story. From what I've heard now, the husband initially wasn't a problem, but the husband's family now started saying things to him, started, what's the word now? Sowing seed into his mind. And he became a different person. And she's stopped being a regent now for over 6 years. And that home is not settled till now. What am I trying to say? Most of the time, it's not the woman that is the issue. Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time. It is this insecurity in men, this fear, oh, she's now the manager of this place. She's now the queen of this place. She's now, say endowed. She's now this, she's now that, and I am here. Nobody is stopping you from also growing. So if you choose not to grow, and your woman is a go-getter and she's growing, now as a good husband that has the fear of God, and your wife respect your authority as the king in the kingdom, you should be the one pushing her. Because no matter what she becomes, she bears your name.
Of course.
Whatever she does, they call her Mrs. Lagbaja.
Yeah.
So it's about how do you support your woman at the time she's in that height. Like what Mommy Antonia said, that we learn. We are quick learner. When you maltreat her today, you maltreat her tomorrow. She's going to adjust. She will automatically, maybe naturally before she comes and tell you everything. Oh, my sweetheart, somebody's called me yesterday, told me about a contract. Oh, my darling, I want to do this. What do you think? Tomorrow she tells you everything. But she's seen the way you have reacted, you have behaved, or even the bad words and other things you said to her that have even made her to cry, like, what have I done wrong? And then she will change. Before she tells you 10 things, now she tells you only one. And then you feel, oh, so you're now proud. You don't even tell me anything anymore, even though you don't say it out, but you show it in your actions. There is no woman that is not submissive when the king is operating in his role, in his authority as the king. No matter what the woman is, every woman needs a king that has her back. But then, do you really have her back? Even when the woman does anything wrong, you are the first person that wants to tell the whole world, yes, the woman you people are exalting like a good woman. Look at the mistake she has done. She will forgive you. She will move on because she wants to keep her home. But she will change. And that change will affect your home one way or the other. And you will know you have lost the trust of this woman. So I don't want to drag on it too much. I don't know if I made sense, if I answered your question, Ebenezer. Ebenezer, is it there? No. Okay. I hope I've answered that question. There are many other men in the house. Did I answer the question? Mommy Ann, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We've touched the areas, being a queen of the house and being a mother and being into many things. As a woman, we all know it. We back our home with prayer. We've done a lot as a woman. So really, 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 we are the queen. Because we go through a lot of things, challenges, and all lie on women who sit home, who work, who does everything, pray for the house, make sure everything goes right. So every woman is a queen, really. Every woman is a queen. We are a very strong women in our various homes, in our prayer life, in our churches, in everything in our life. We are queen. We are a strong pillar of the house. I think the first lady, the first woman that backed it up with the Queen Esther.
Yes, ma'am.
So it goes all along, and it has been backed up with the Bible. That is how a strong woman is supposed to be, and that is what we are following the footsteps of Queen Esther and other. Other women of God in the past. So that's all my contribution. I'm very interested in the topic. That was why I joined.
Thank you, ma.
I just want to learn one or two because you never know finish. and I'm really happy that I got some points here, which I will go along with my day-to-day activities.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much for bringing this topic.
Thank you. God
powerful.
bless you.
Thank you all the speakers. Thank you all. God bless us all.
Yes, ma'am. Any other person? Pastor Stephen, I'm back to you, sir.
What can I do for you, my dear sister?
How has it been? Did I answer Ebenezer's question?
Yeah, you in a way, yes. In a way, yes. But you know your brother. You know I'm coming.
Let's come.
Now I came ready for this because we had this discussion last week.
Yes, sir.
First of all, you know, I want to say it again. I'll say this openly for those who probably, you know, whatever the case is. I really applaud you for even stepping into this. Okay, because this is it can be a very contentious issue. That's why a lot of the time, I don't know, we don't hear guys talk. But we all have our thought process on what this whole thing is. And so I want to applaud you on even, trying and doing what you're doing with, looking at this. But I want to point one thing out. You got to be careful of your use of words, because if you're talking about feminism, that's a whole new ball game. You're opening up a can of worms right there. And feminism is not of God. It has nothing to do with God. It has no relation to his whole being. But I think what you might be talking about is a virtuous woman. Yes. A righteous woman. Yes. But a feminist, if you go and look up all the connotations to do with feminism, you know, we can't put them on par with the word of God. You know, the belief in it. Okay, there's certain aspects of it, but you know, to say feminism as a way of, as a woman of God, as a woman of virtue, as a woman of strength, as a woman of character, as a Proverbs 31 woman, and all those kind of things, that is not what a feminist what a feminist is. The rights to equality, I understand. Okay, I understand the right to equality, because that's part of what the feminist movement was about, to put an end to sexism, to put an end to sexist exploitation and oppression, and to achieve a full gender equality. That is what feminism is about. Now, if we're looking at our gender specific in terms of male and female within kingdom relationship, that is not what feminism. Okay, so we have to be careful how we use that word in the scope of feminism. That's the one thing that I just wanted to say, and I think that's why last week I'm like, feminism, and you know, you can take feminism is you know, it's so contentious. It's so contentious.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for bringing it up. But when I started last week, you didn't join when I started, and the same thing today. And I kept hammering on that, and I really made clear emphasis on it.
Okay.
What feminism is today is not what feminism should be.
Okay.
Feminism has been before all this sexist movement came about.
Okay.
And when we talk about feminism in the original context of it, it's all about value, about the woman's value, not what the society put it today. Like I said, feminism today is seen as equality and of sexes. But as a Christian, we see feminism as a woman's value and virtues.
Okay. I hear that. I guess it's me then. I just don't like the use of the word.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, sir, but that's one of the reasons why I'm actually even using it, because the word feminism now is seen as a bad word. But it is not, and it shouldn't be. And when we talk about feminist, we talk about a complete correct woman who is tough at the same time who is tender.
But you see that the issue I have with it again is when we say all those things, tough and tender, what is the standard? What standard are we using to mark out what is a feminist, what is tough, what is tender? What is our standard of mark?
For instance, I did give the example. Maybe you haven't joined it.
Okay. I do apologize. If
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll go over it again, just because somebody else might also be jumping in the middle. When we talk about the tough side of it, for instance, being able to manage your affairs, your home, be calling a spade, speaking up where you need to speak up, defending your family, your territory, setting boundaries, that is you being tough. Being able to...
I don't think that's tough. I don't think that's being tough. I think that's...
It's not every woman that can do that, sir.
I agree. Anyway, let's not get into a backward and forward. The other thing that I wanted to say that you picked up last week, and you know, again, time has run out on us, as it does, is this issue of manipulation. That was my bone of contention last week. And if we, you know, the definition of manipulation, if we just look at that, which I did have a bit of a check on, it is designed to influence or control another, usually in a manner which facilitates one's personal aim. So I am looking to influence or control another person, usually to get what I want. So in view of the examples that we gave last week, both of them, even the one that I said isn't, still is, because it's what I want. Now, I'm not saying what I want is right or wrong, but we've got to look at the motive behind why we are doing what we're doing. If the motive behind it is because me, I, then it is manipulation. If it is to a greater purpose, that it's, looking to fulfill a wholeness of the family, of the unity of the, of the people interactive, then it's not necessarily so. But the base reason behind why you're doing what you're doing has to be looked at to establish what is, and what if it is or isn't manipulation. Because manipulation is also regarded as an attack on a person's mental or emotional sides to get what you want. That's another perspective of it. So we have to be very mindful as individuals. And I'm not putting this on women only. I'm saying this as a generality, because we all do it, because we're all human beings. We all, under certain degrees, want our way. To what extent do we want our way? Why do I want my way as a man? Why is it my way or the highway? As a woman, why is it my way or you're not getting any of this? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. And if the answer to ourselves, being honest with ourselves, because I say so, then it is manipulation. Or it's because I want something, then it is manipulation. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for clearing that up. So from what I've been saying and from what you just said, we're on the same page. And it's just, the word is just not sounding right for you in any way at all. But it is still what it is. And if, for instance, there are some things you would do or say, it's a lie, and you're like, I don't really want to lie. But then some people will call it, that's applying wisdom. That's another context entirely. But you're like, that's not wisdom. I'm still lying. But they say, no, you need to apply wisdom. So when you apply wisdom or you're lying or whatever manipulation, whatever you're doing, what's the purpose? Like what Queen Esther did. If you want to use it, look at it in another way. Okay, we'll say it's not manipulation because it wasn't just about her. It was for a whole community. But she used her feminism skill to achieve what she wanted, plus prayer. And if we want to talk about feminism as well, it also includes your spirituality. So feminism is not about you can work and make 10,000 pounds. I also can make 10,000 pounds. No, it's bigger than that. That's actually limiting. Anybody can make 10,000 pounds if they put their mind to it. But it's bigger than that. It's what makes you a woman. It's a completeness of you as a woman. Yoruba will use the word ete, like Sister Eniola said the other time. Queen Esther used ete, and in English, ete is manipulation. Even our mothers will advise us, and our fathers will advise, elders will advise, are you not a woman? Can't you know how you're going to handle your husband? What are they saying? Where you need to use ete, use ete. Not because you want the man to buy you a house or a car, but to keep your home. But to make things running smooth in your home. If what I need from my husband is for him to give me money for my children's school fees, and I need to use ete or manipulation, or feminism and whatever it is, would we still say it's just because of what you want? But what works? And who are we dealing with? I'm going to leave it there, sir. Any other additional question before we wrap it up today? Easy, you are quiet tonight. Brother Mike, you are quiet too.
God bless us all.
Amen. And nothing else. Amen. To God be all the glory. Oh, wow. I did not record tonight's episode. Wonderful. Very, very wonderful. I hope we've all learned one thing or the other. I have learned something, even though I'm the one speaking. I've added to my CV. Thank you all for joining me in the discovery of what it means to be a woman. And thank you, Pastor Stephen, for helping break down the word manipulation. Thank you all so much. Mommy Antonia, God bless you. Mommy Anna, and all those that has been in and out and on Facebook. Until we'll come back next week, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. I say a good night to everyone and God bless you.
God bless you. Good night.
Night.
Bless you all.
Night.
Shalom.